People don't just pay for the product, they pay for the fact that most people can't get it. That is the hidden reason exclusivity works. It turns a simple purchase into proof that you crossed a line. On the surface, this looks irrational. Why would anyone want something more because it is harder to buy? But luxury is not only about ownership, it is about access. This video explains why people pay for the closed door around a product, not just the product itself. The first mechanism is simple. Exclusivity creates a boundary. A normal product asks, "Do you want this?" An exclusive product asks, "Are you allowed to have this?" That tiny difference changes everything. The item stops being just an object and becomes a signal. It signals money, but not only money, it can signal patience, insider knowledge, relationships, taste, and status. And sometimes the strongest signal is not the loudest one. Some luxury goods are intentionally hard to read for outsiders. They look plain to most people, but meaningful to the right people. That is insider signaling. The product does not shout to everyone. It whispers to people who know the code. This matters because status does not always need a crowd. Sometimes it only needs the right audience. If everyone can instantly understand the flex, it can start to feel less elite. So the signal moves inward, away from mass recognition and toward insider recognition. But exclusivity is not only about who understands the product, it is also about who can reach it. Waitlists, private appointments, limited supply, in-store only availability, and raffles all create friction. For ordinary products, friction is a problem. For exclusive products, friction can become the point. The harder the path feels, the more the final object feels like evidence that you passed through it. The product is what you hold. The access is what it proves. This is why scarcity is not always about running out of stock. There is a difference between something being popular and something being limited. Everyone wants this tells you there is demand. Only a few exist tells you there is uniqueness. And for people who want to feel different, that second message can be much more powerful. The product becomes desirable not only because it is useful, beautiful, or expensive, but because it separates. Scarcity turns ownership into a category, the people who got in and the people who did not. That is why the user interface of exclusivity matters so much. A countdown compresses time, a waitlist stretches desire, a sold-out page turns absence into proof. But here is the important part. Scarcity alone is not enough. If an unknown product says limited edition, it can feel like a trick. If a trusted luxury brand says it, it can feel like a privilege. Exclusivity works best when it sits on top of reputation, quality, craft, story, or cultural meaning. That is why luxury brands do not only sell objects, they build an entire environment around the object. The store, the appointment, the packaging, the silence, the back room, all of it becomes part of the product. The customer is not just buying something, they are being guided through a ritual. And rituals create memory. They make the purchase feel less like a transaction and more like admission. That is the emotional engine of exclusivity, admission. Not everyone wants to be seen by everyone. Many people want to be recognized by a specific group. Loud luxury says, "Look at me." Exclusive luxury says, "If you know, you know." That is why a product can look almost invisible to outsiders and still carry enormous status inside a certain circle. The audience gets smaller, but the signal gets sharper. This is also why exclusivity should not be reduced to simple vanity. People may be buying uniqueness, identity, social proof, a better service environment, or the feeling of being selected. The object matters, but it often matters because of the system that placed it in your hands. First, the brand limits supply. Then it controls access. Then it surrounds the purchase with ritual. Then the owner carries the signal outside. By the time the product is purchased, desire has already been engineered through the path toward it. This is why sold out can sometimes make people want a product more, not less. The closed door tells a story. It says there is an inside, and you are not automatically part of it. And once something creates an inside, access becomes valuable. That is the final twist. Exclusivity is not just something added to luxury. It may be the luxury, the bag, the watch, the shoes, or the room may be the visible part. But the invisible part is the filter. Who was allowed to approach, who had to wait, and who was quietly turned away. That is why the most expensive part of luxury may not be the object itself. It may be the feeling that the object proves something about your position in the social map. Not, I bought this, but I got in. People pay for exclusivity because the product is what they can carry. The access is what they can feel.